Hello, my name is Karl Lagerfeld and this is Auto Mode. And today on Auto Mode we are going into a Halloween costume roast and review for the year 2022. Yeah, it's me. I'm Karl. I know. It's pretty cute.
But it's my fault. I'm too easy to recognize.
This is the Auto Mode Halloween 2022 roast and review. We're going to be breaking down some of the best looks from your favorite celebrities' Halloween costumes. I am obviously none other than Karl Lagerfeld, creative director of Chanel and Fendi. Karl's getting a Met Gala this year, and I'm not dressing up as Karl for the Met, so let me get this out of the way now. Also, in case anybody had any questions, Karl had a massive amount of flyaways in his later years, so I don't want to hear about it, okay? This is very accurate. Without further ado, let's get into the roast and review. So first up, we have none other than Addison Rae. Now, she is portraying Lady Gaga when she performed her very iconic 2009 VMAs paparazzi performance. Essentially, Lady Gaga, when she performed, had blood that dripped down. Essentially, it was meant to represent the idea that fame can kill. And so Addison honestly looks just like her. And I really, for a long time, was like, which one's the Lady Gaga picture? She really does look like Gaga. I think the idea of going for an iconic VMAs performance by Gaga and not just one of the most iconic red carpet moments is actually really cool of Addison. I appreciate her for that. It's not something that's discussed often. So I have to say, honestly, like, I think it's a great moment. Shout out to Addison. She did a fantastic job. Next up, we have Anya Taylor-Joy, and she is none other than Princess Peach of the Mushroom Kingdom. She is actually the voice actress for Princess Peach in the upcoming Nintendo Mario film. I think what she's doing here is a little bit of a method dressing, but very literal. She's wearing a crown. It's cute. It's fun. It's funky. It has Princess Peach's gemstones in it. The dress, a little bit not historically accurate, you know what I mean? Like, Princess Peach got a real bustly kind of moment going on there, and I just feel like we could have went a little bit hardcore if we were really gonna be like historically accurate to Princess Peach. Obviously, I'm joking, but I understand what we're going for. I think the sheer sort of dress is cute. It's a little bit more Halloween. Black boots, a little bit goth punk Princess Peach, but I'm hoping that with the upcoming red carpets for the movie, Anya really like goes for it, because I think it would be super cool if she did. So if this is what we're expecting to see going forward, I'm excited. Next up, we have Ariana Grande and Liz Gillies, and they are depicting characters from the iconic mockumentary film Best in Show, with Ariana Grande being Sherry Ann Cabot and Liz Gillies being Christy Cummings. Now, obviously in the movie, if you have not seen, I'm sorry that I am spoiling it for you, but you should have seen it. They are lovers who train dogs for great iconic dog shows. And honestly, I think that they do a good job. I think Liz Gillies always sort of dedicates herself to a character. So her Christy Cummings, I think, is fantastic. The hair looks great. The jacket, wonderful. And then Ariana, I think, honestly, she captures a Jennifer Coolidge-ishness to her. If there's ever like a biopic about Jennifer Coolidge, maybe Ariana Grande should do it.
It looked very dramatic and very show-like.
I don't know. I think there's a funness to it. I think the highlights are great. Ariana has a great relationship, I believe, with Jennifer Coolidge. I do remember Jennifer Coolidge was in one of her music videos, so I wonder if that's sort of where the inspiration was coming from. If that's what the vibe was, I think it's cute. I think it's fun. I think it's nice. I do wish there was maybe a little bit more of an iconic look with the little headbands. That would have been fun. Would have loved that. But I appreciate the obscure reference. I like it. Next up, there was Cardi B, who dressed up as none other than the yellow icon herself, Marge Simpson. Now, Cardi went for a much more seductive housewife, Marge, I would say. She has the iconic blue hair, which it's fantastic. The red, beautiful strands of big bobbly baubles, both on the earrings and on the neck. Green off-the-shoulder bodysuit corset, which is different than Marge's usual sort of like dress that she wears. And then a nice big platform red pump. I appreciate doing sexy Marge. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I think it's different than what we would expect. I think also the yellow skin, the blue, is kind of all you really need to get the Margeness out there. I think the green definitely, again, captures the aura of the character. It's just Cardi took it in a much more seductive, sort of sexy manner, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? It's different, but it's still fun, still exciting. I like it. There was another look that Cardi did. Now, she did an iconic reference to a Mugler look, and we can see it in the photo frame behind her. She still dresses Marge, obviously, blue hair, yellow skin, red lips. but it seems that Cardi referenced an iconic Mugler moment. Now, I don't know if Marge ever wore a Mugler on the show. Maybe she did. I know that recently she wore Balenciaga, and Cardi is a brand ambassador for Balenciaga, so I feel like it would have been fun to do Cardi, Marge, Balenciaga collab. I think that would have worked a little bit better. The intriguing element of the Mugler look is the fact that on the back, you can actually see Marge's booty. And now, I didn't know if Marge ever was showcasing her butt on the show, but I do know that Bart Simpson, her son, always showcased his butt on the show. So I was wondering if that was maybe the reference that Cardi was going for here. Either way, love seeing a nice Mugler iconic reference for Halloween. Throw in a fashion reference, I'm happy about it. And I like that Cardi is still referencing her faves, Mugler. She loves it. I appreciate a Cardi Ween Marge Simpson experience. It's a little bit different than what we expect, but it's layered. Has context. Next up, we have Chloe Bailey, and she is Storm. Now, honestly, I love the bodysuit. I think it's gorgeous. I think it works. The little X-Men at the center to cover the little plunging neckline. Nice, solid. The latex, good. And then the little sort of arm swags of fabric that wrap around, also nice. Maybe, you know, there are subtle details I would have loved. Like a little higher boot would have been a little bit nicer. But the other thing is also the hair. Just wish we had a little bit more hairography, you know what I mean? Just a little bit more oomph to the hair. Now, I know who am I to talk, but I don't have a hairstylist. Honestly, I love it. I think it's cute. I think it's fun. I think she did a great job. They're just little cosmetic details I would have loved to have been touched upon a little bit more to give it that real pizzazz, a little electric shock. Next up, we had Diddy, and he was the Joker from, what, the Dark Knight series? Heath Ledger played Joker. I think he looks fantastic. It's so accurate. It's kind of scary, honestly, a little bit. I think the makeup is perfect. I think the use of like the flamethrower is amazing. I think the costume is fantastic and captures the real essence of the Joker. Honestly, I think he did a great job. I really couldn't tell the difference between him and the original. I think it's honestly amazing. I have the utmost respect for Diddy because he always goes for it for Halloween. So why so serious? Because it looks good, that's why. Next up, we have Hailey Bieber, and she recreated one of the most iconic runway moments, which is Letitia Casta, who was the flower bride for Yves Saint Laurent's Spring 1999 collection. Hailey is a Saint Laurent brand ambassador, and so the fact that she's referencing Saint Laurent history makes me super happy. Like, technically, Saint Laurent was kind of my rival, but she looks good, so gotta shout it out where you can. In reality, I think that the Flower Bride is a very iconic runway moment. The idea of faux flowers covering a bra bottoms and just sort of being a bride, almost like Eve of Adam and Eve, and like a Lady Godiva but without the hair and just faux flowers. It's great. It's fantastic. It worked. It really is an image that throughout the past 20-something years definitely been used and referenced over and over and over again. And the fact that Hailey sort of went for it, I think is fantastic. I think her version is also really, really beautiful, whereas Yves Saint Laurent went for much smaller flowers. I think Hailey's use of larger flowers makes the look actually far more full. I think those faux roses are fantastic. That one on that side that really just bursts open. I'm unsure if Saint Laurent actually made this for her or if she had it made for herself. If Saint Laurent made it for her, even better. And I also just hope that Hailey going forward does more of these references to iconic Saint Laurent moments. I think it's really cool. I think it's really fun. I think it's a great way for brand ambassadors to ambassadorize the brands that they are ambassadoring for. It gives that history. It reignites that history. It recontextualizes that history for a modern audience. And listen, Letitia Casta might not be the flower bride to young people now, but Hailey Bieber now is, and it's continuing that history of Yves Saint Laurent, and I think that's really cool. I genuinely think that the bottoms are beautiful. Again, these big flowers bursting forward are stunning. The little flowers on the shoes and the beautiful sort of frilled edge little train skirt. It's fantastic. Hailey Bieber, honestly, I think she outdid herself. I think she looks amazing. Hats off to Hailey Bieber. I can say this, I think she's one of the best dressed. And that's coming from Karl Lagerfeld, okay? We then had Heidi Klum, the queen of Halloween, most definitely, and she dressed up as a worm. And it's very scary and accurate, and I feel uncomfortable looking at it. She's a big old worm. I don't really know how she moved around. I just know that her face as a worm is horrific. Worm on the ground photo of her, memeable, very much so my energy. Heidi Klum strikes again for Halloween. Next up, we have Janelle Monae, who is recreating the Diva Plavalaguna, who is from the iconic movie The Fifth Element. Considering the actual look of Diva Plavalaguna. It's a stunning dress. Like when you look at it, it's beautiful. You know, costumes were done by Thierry Mugler himself. So again, there is that sort of in-depth fashion reference. I think that she accurately recreated the costume. I think, you know, the makeup and all that is wonderful. The dress in the latex, I think, is great because in reality, you're so focused on the head that you can't really even tell that much about the latex. I just think she captured a moment. It looks beautiful. It looks stunning. I think it's very believable. Seems like celebrities are more and more incorporating fashion history and fashion references into their work when it comes to Halloween. I love it. Next up, we have Joe Jonas as Flo from Progressive. I love Flo from Progressive. I think it's fun, think it's cute, think it's chic, think it's fine. And you know what? Did Flo need a shave? I guess not. No, I don't think so. Flo could let the stubble grow, and I'm okay with that. Next up, we have Keke Palmer, and she recreated the iconic fairy tale of Rapunzel. Now, Rapunzel, if you don't know, which you should know, was a young woman whose hair grew really long to the point where people could climb up her hair to the tower that she was stuck in. So the thing is, usually Rapunzel is like a young white woman. I like the fact that Keke Palmer recreates and recontextualizes the idea of Rapunzel and makes her not only a white Caucasian woman, but in reality, Rapunzel can be anybody. They could put anybody in a tower and anybody could grow really long hair, and bing bang boom, you can use it as a rope. So I like the fact that Keke actually went and did big, beautiful, long braids, because in reality, you could use the braids to scale up the side of the tower too. I think it's fun. I think it's beautiful. I think it also gives young girls the ability to see themselves in different characters that oftentimes they're not always able to see. And so to recontextualize it, I think Keke does a great job. She looks beautiful. I just think Keke killed it. She looks great. She looks stunning. She's rewriting a little bit of history. I'm into it. We then had Keke recreate Rogue from the X-Men series. Now, Keke essentially did the beautiful sort of white little front bangage going on. She has beautiful curls. They're stunning. They're gorgeous. And then it's sort of the simple brown hair that we know and that we love. Keke also redid the costumes. A nice little purple aubergine eggplanty jacket that honestly I kind of want in my own life with a big X on it, and then a little nice sort of tight with a Margiela inspired suit, shoe, heel experience. It looks great. It looks fun. It looks cool. I like it. I'm into it. Keke Palmer did Halloween very well. Next up, we have Kendall Jenner, and she recreated Jessie from Toy Story 2, the girlfriend of Woody from Toy Story. So the thing that Kendall did that caused a little bit of controversy is Kendall went for a sort of denim cut bottom that in reality showcases skin and a little bit of derriere. She wore chaps that are assless in that cow print that Jessie is known for, but the thing is Jessie the character actually wears jeans. She also like crop topped-ified the shirt too. The idea of sort of like making costumes sexy, I don't know. I don't think it's like a terrible thing. Listen, I don't think Kendall Jenner is trying to entice children into being like, put sexy Jessie in Toy Story 4. I think that in reality, people grow up with characters. I remember seeing Toy Story 2 and kind of recreate them for your modern life. Like those characters, yes, while they're for kids and they were for kids when the movies came out, when Kendall Jenner were children, doesn't mean that we like just automatically wipe them from our brain and like, oh no, we can't ever like do anything with that. No, I think that if that's something that you grew up with, you can always recreate it. It's about creativity. It's about fun. It's about excitement. It's about sometimes sexifying a costume. You know what I mean? Can't help it. So yeah, I don't really see an issue with this. I don't know. If you don't want to see sexy Halloween costumes, like don't follow Kardashians or Jenners on Instagram. Sorry, I think that's just the truth. Also, it's like not even that sexy, I find. Maybe it's because I'm a homosexual and Karl Lagerfeld, but you never know. R.I.P. Jacques. But yeah, I think she did a good job. I think it looks good, and it's not just because Kendall Jenner is my friend because I'm Karl Lagerfeld, you know what I mean? Should I stop saying I'm Karl Lagerfeld every 5 seconds? Does it give it away that I'm not? We then had Kim Kardashian, and she was none other than Mystique. Kim Kardashian essentially doing like a bodycon costume, not really shocking, is it? You shouldn't be shocked, I shouldn't be shocked, nobody should be shocked. There we go. She's essentially an all blue alien that can transform and shapeshift and all that jazz. And then she has her nice little orangey hairs. I think she did a good job. I think it's very Kim. to be completely honest. I think that it makes sense. I think that it works. I think it fits in with her aesthetic and her brand. The blue looks nice. I'm okay. I think it works. It's good. I'm here for it. Then we had Kylie Jenner, and she did the Bride of Frankenstein justice. Now, first look that we saw was Kylie recreating sort of the Bride of Frankenstein coming to life. She's strapped out to a board, and the thing is, she is wearing Jean Paul Gaultier haute couture. Now, this look was specifically made for Kylie. Now, it's a reference to a look from Glenn Martin's Jean Paul Gaultier haute couture collection. It was the one with all the strings, but what they did is they took little sort of pieces of chiffon and looped it in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. Technical term, you know, I'm a fashion designer. And created this sort of mummy-like dress. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. JPG haute couture. We love to see it. It fits her phenomenally. I think the idea of it is wonderful. If we look at the original image, we can actually see that there is a lot of sort of bandage wrapping going on the Bride of Frankenstein in the original imagery. And in reality, again, sort of in the same way as Kim, does this play on ideas and elements. The Kylie Jenner brand aesthetic, the Kardashian Jenner brand aesthetic, I think so. I mean, if we talk about surgeries and body enhancements and things like that, which allegedly Kylie doesn't have, but to each their own. I do find it interesting that in reality, this idea of bandaging and wrapping up and all of that sort of stuff does correlate to this idea of body modification. And so I wonder if that's also sort of like a nuance from Kylie and why she sort of referenced the look to begin with. And I have to say, I tip my hat off to Kylie. I think she did a great job. I think it's fantastic. And utilizing Jean Paul Gaultier haute couture. There was another Bride of Frankenstein look, this time a white sort of dress, and in reality there's another reference image, and I think Kylie, again, she killed it. It looks fantastic. It's a floor-length gown that in reality has a very closed sort of neck and then a shoulder that isn't really sharp, but rather sort of curved and exposes the sleeves underneath. And then the dress falls to the floor. It's beautiful. It's like a big sheet wrapped over her body, but it's magnificent and it's glorious and it looks stunning. I have a feeling it's from the runway. I just can't remember exactly who made it. If it's not from the runway, then it looks like something from the runway. And so again, I just think Kylie understands what she is doing. And I think also for a lot of these fashion brands, it's smart for them to incorporate different elements of their clothing into Halloween costumes. People might say, oh, listen, I gotta go to Gaultier next year for my costume. Or, oh, I gotta go to Cavalli or Mugler or whoever, you know, Yves Saint Laurent for my costume so I can recreate this iconic moment. Like, that I think is smart. I think it's a way for fashion brands to take these styles that are on the runway very avant-garde and over the top and create a Halloween costumey aesthetic and moment. I think it's fun, I think it's cool, I think it's chic. I like it. Next up, we had Lotto as the corpse bride. I think she killed it. She looks fantastic. The idea of like her skeleton arm on one arm is crazy and cool. The makeup, I think, is fantastic. The dress is gorgeous. You know, the idea of the skeleton legs also are kind of miraculous. I don't know how this was done, but I think it was done very, very coolly. I think the fact that you have the sort of torn, beautiful skirt, you know, the corset that exposes rib, like it's really, really smart. I think the costume design in and of itself, it lends itself to imaginative ideas, and yet at the same time, it's still very elegant, still very poised. It's beautiful. Good job, Lotto. Next up, we had Lil Nas X, and he recreated the look from the rapper Ice Spice's Munch music video. I believe that Ice Spice has songs on TikTok that have gone viral, and so I'm pretty positive that Lil Nas X, in his endless creativity, recreated the music video rather brilliantly. I think the hair matches the green bandeau. Fantastic. The denim shorts, great. Like, in reality, I just think that he understands how to reference current pop culture and make it his own, make it fun, make it enjoyable without sort of like pointing fun, you know, offending people. Pretty positive I even saw Ice Spice on Twitter being like, this is it, you want Halloween. So in reality, I think Lil Nas X just is on a constant state of understanding it, pushing it, and just running with it beautifully. We then had Lily Reinhart, Madeline Petch, and Camila Mendez all recreating the iconic trio from Hocus Pocus. Now, Lily Reinhart recreated Mary Sanderson, who was played by Sarah Jessica Parker. You know, you have the blonde sort of streaks, the beautiful bedazzled corset with the gorgeous makeup, the little velvety skirt. I think it was done pretty well. As for Madeline Petch, she recreated none other than Winifred Sanderson, who was played by the icon, the legend, Bette Midler. The hair, I think, is fantastic. I think it works. I think it's fun. Again, Madeline Petch also is, I believe, if it's not natural, she is a ginger and she plays a ginger on Riverdale. And I think it's also smart that each of them went and sort of took their hair color and played off of that. The acid green corset with a purple, I think all works. I think, again, it's a little bit more sexy, a little bit more scandalous, but I think it's fun. Again, I don't think it's a bad thing to make yourself look a little bit more modern when it comes to recreating costumes here and there. And then we had none other than Camila Mendes recreating the wonderful Mary Sanderson, played by Kathy Najimy. She has the face down. I think the hair is amazing. I wish it could have been a little bit more curvaceous, but... And then also the costume, again, it works, it makes sense. It's recreating the costume to a degree, but it's still adding a little bit of modern touches. I love it. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I think it works. They put a spell on me, and I'm here for it. We then had Lizzo recreate Marge Simpson as well. Now, Lizzo went a little bit more traditional Marge, I would say. You have the blue hair. It's big, it's bold, it's funky. I like the size of it compared to Cardi's. I think Cardi's is so nice and slim and trim, but I think Lizzo's a little bit more bold and broad and beautiful and juts out a lot more. I think different, but I think they're cool. Again, the yellow skin, I think, is a perfect sort of iconic thing to reference, and you know automatically, combined with the blue hair, who she is. The green dress, I think, honestly, fit of it works. I think it makes sense. I think it also is a little bit more Marge, although, you know, the Gwen's a little bit more dazzling Marge, but I'm okay with that. The red sort of baubles and the red shoes, I think this is a little bit more of a normal Marge Simpson, but I think also automatically you know who she is. And I think that's great. I like Cardi's ideas. I think they're fun. I think they're cool, but I think Lizzo also doing the traditional, more known Marge Simpson aesthetic worked very well too. And the fact that she recreated all the memes of Marge Simpson, also wonderful. We then had Lori Harvey, and Lori Harvey recreated Beyonce's Me, Myself, and I music video. Now we can see images of Lori doing a little sort of cut blonde platinum, and then a sort of off-the-shoulder black dress, similar to Beyonce's look from the actual music video. Honestly, she looks stunning. I think it's a great reference. It never hurts to reference Beyonce, in my opinion. The dress fits wonderfully from what I can see. I think that she captures the idea and the energy really, really well. I'm enjoying it. She also did another look from the music video, which is Beyonce wearing this beautiful green and white halter style dress that has a plunging neckline, a little bit of a hip expose with a little bling, and then a nice sort of white fur stole. Again, I think it's great. I think the dress is beautiful. It's stunning. It's gorgeous on both, you know, of these women, both Beyoncé's. I like it. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm happy. I like Lori Harvey. I like what she does. She's a fashion girl. I'm into it. We then had Nicki Minaj, and she went for a Cinderella story. Now, she is doing a sort of low plunging Cinderella dress in a trumpet style. So the actual bodice and dress really, really fits so tightly to her. It's full of gorgeous ruching up and down. There's a little bit of a halter. There's the plunge. There's an exposed cleavage experience. There's gloves. It's fun. It's cool. And then you have this big frou-frou tulle and silk skirt that is just exploding and creating a wonderful sort of aesthetic. It reminds me a lot of Charles James and Zac Posen, two great, wonderful American designers. Nicki also sort of tends to work with a lot of American brands too, so I like to see it. It's a beautiful costume. And then when she turns around, you can see that she has little cutouts for her butt cheeks, and I love it even more. If you're mad that Nicki Minaj has Cinderella butt cutouts, don't follow Nicki Minaj on Instagram. That's your problem. Obviously, the silhouette is very, very different than the original Cinderella silhouette that is much more sort of Victorian inspired with bustles and overskirts and all those sorts of things. But I do think it's fun. I do think that the idea of Cinderella keeps moving and shifting and changing. And there's elements that Nicki created, like the beautiful sort of headband and the hair. It all plays in together. You know, if we look at the back, we can see that there are beautiful sort of crisscross ribbons to recreate the need of the corset when it comes to a gown like this. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I think it's exciting. Like, I love to see it. Next up, we have Olivia Rodrigo, and she recreated Betty Boop, the iconic little character. Now we can see that she is wearing a bow little mini dress. This is actually by the brand Self Portrait. What we see is a little shorty dress with a little sort of red garter band, a little red bag, some high sort of tights, and Mary Jane shoe. Listen, Betty Boop with the curls and the hair, you know, it definitely comes together. You can see it. I think a little bit more banglage, you know, with the gold, that would have helped a little bit, but I think it's a cute reference. It's a little bit not super duper try hard, but you know, who am I to judge? Listen. I will say, I do wish Olivia went for it a little bit more. And by a little bit, I mean like a lot of it more. I just think it would have been fun and cool and exciting. I get the idea of like the nonchalance, but like I want chalant. I like a chalant. You know what I mean? It helps. Makes one excited. So please bring the chalants, Olivia. Thank you. We then saw Paris Hilton recreate Sailor Moon, the iconic Japanese anime. Now, what Paris did is she did the sort of girl uniform, just fully encrusted with rhinestones. But what she also did was, instead of doing the traditional sort of sailor style that is white, falls down to around the hips, and then falls into that little pleated blue skirt, what Paris did was she said, listen, I'm going to do a corset and it's going to be a little bit of a sheer expose. So it's a little bit like a crop top, but it's not really a crop top. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I think the boots work. I think that she definitely captures the idea of Sailor Moon in it. It's a moment. I like it. It's fun. I get it. I'm okay with this. And lastly, we had Shawn Mendes as Indiana Jones. Yeah, I get it. I see it. It makes sense. It's easy peasy, understandable. Do it to it. That is the end of this Halloween roast, so let's talk about our best and our worst. Best, I'm going to have to give it, honestly, Hailey Bieber, pretty solid. Kylie Jenner, pretty solid. Janelle Monae, pretty solid. Heidi Klum, pretty solid. Diddy. Oh, and shocker, Addison Rae. Yeah, those are my faves. As for my least favorite, I'm gonna put Olivia Rodrigo. I think that's it. Solid. I would just like to say a huge thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Carl is here till the end of this video and then he's gone. He's back in the closet. So I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you guys on the next video and TTYL.